The early morning mist still clung to the fields, a grey shroud over a world that was supposed to be at peace. But inside the small farmhouse, 17-year-old Olha was already awake. It was February 24th, 2022. While her family slept, she was scrolling through news updates on her phone, a knot of dread tightening in her stomach. The reports were vague, but alarming. Strange military movements. Tense political statements. Something was wrong. Then a distant rumble shook the window panes. It wasn't thunder. It was a sound she had only heard in movies, a deep, guttural roar that seemed to tear the sky apart. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She shook her younger brother awake, her voice a harsh whisper. "Get up, we have to go." Now her parents, roused by the noise, stumbled out of their bedroom, their faces etched with confusion and fear. The second explosion was closer, a deafening crack that sent a tremor through the floorboards. The illusion of peace was shattered. They didn't have time to pack. They grabbed what they could: passports, a little money, a few bottles of water. Olha's cat, Mirka, sensing the panic, darted under the sofa. With tears streaming down her face, Olha coaxed him out, bundling him into her jacket. Every second felt like an eternity. The air outside was cold and sharp, filled with the smell of smoke and the rising crescendo of sirens. Neighbors were pouring out of their houses, a chaotic river of humanity flowing into the pre-dawn darkness. No one knew where to go. They just knew they had to run. The family piled into their old car. Her father's hands trembled on the steering wheel as he navigated through streets clogged with terrified people and abandoned vehicles. Olha looked back at their home, the lights still on, a lonely beacon in the growing chaos. She wondered if she would ever see it again. The radio was a torrent of frantic voices, confirming their worst fears. The invasion had begun. Cities across the country were under attack. Her quiet, predictable world had just ceased to exist. They drove 4 hours, part of a massive, slow-moving exodus. Every town they passed was in a similar state of shock and disarray. Gas stations had impossibly long lines. Stores were being emptied. The digital world that had first alerted Olha to the danger was now a lifeline, a chaotic stream of information, misinformation, and desperate pleas for help. She scrolled through messages from friends. Some were fleeing, like her. Others were trapped. Some were vowing to stay and fight. Days blurred into a sleepless, anxious haze. They slept in the car, in crowded shelters, in the homes of strangers who opened their doors with a generosity that shone like a light in the darkness. Olha became the family's navigator, her phone her only map. She found safe routes, located shelters, and translated news reports. The 17-year-old girl who had been worried about exams just days before was now responsible for her family's survival. She saw things no one should ever have to see. The skeletal remains of bombed-out buildings, the raw grief on the faces of fellow refugees. But she also saw incredible courage. She saw volunteers handing out food and blankets, their faces tired but resolute. She saw people comforting strangers, sharing stories, and holding on to hope with a tenacity that was breathtaking. She saw the strength of her own family, their bond forged even stronger in the crucible of crisis. They had lost their home, their sense of security, their past, but they hadn't lost each other. That morning, as the sun rose on a world changed forever, Ulha was already awake. She had been the first to sense the danger, the first to act. And in the long, arduous journey that followed, she never stopped. This is not just a story of loss. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, ordinary people can find extraordinary strength. Thank you for watching. If you found this story moving, please like, share, and subscribe for more.